Good afternoon. Lovely Saturday to everyone, and happy Easter. We are on the Easter weekend, and of course, I've just given myself a bunch of giggles before I came live, so I do apologize if I'm still giggling to you, but we are talking because I'm going to share with you my week, and it's super exciting. I've been doing some awesome stuff, and I am really feeling good for it. But of course, I want to know that you're with me. Drop your thoughts, comments, and questions, and of course, if there's anything that resonates, I'd love to hear, and others would too, because remember, wellness is not a start and end. It's not a finish line. It is a journey. It's the things you do every single day. And at any point, life is this roller coaster. We go through these highs, we have these lows, and we flow through this pattern. And at some point in life, we have to pick ourselves up. So I'm going to put down my stress ball. I think this was what put me in giggles beforehand. I was having my little bounce and all sorts. So yeah, I'm going to put that down because I'll keep playing with that. But as I was saying last week when I was joined by Michael Mintz, is I had COVID in November, and it's taken a few months for me to get over this. Okay. So now I've started to feel like 100% again. Okay. What I was feeling for, I say a few weeks, was anxiousness, elevated heart rate. So I could feel something blocking my throat, but it wasn't quite, it wasn't a sore throat. It was just like there was something there. I just wasn't feeling 100%. So more lethargic and things like this. So of course, knowing I was feeling this way, and of course, then obviously getting all the treatment and that I needed, when I was feeling 100%, I was like, okay, I want to get back to how things were. Now, the one misconception that I always hear is people go, well, it's easy for you. Okay. It's easy because you know what you're doing or you've done it before. Well, yeah, in some ways it is easier because I have done it before. And of course, having done it before, I know the discipline, but also I can connect to how good it feels to get to the results. Right. So, although in some ways it's still a little easier in terms of the duration and things like this, because I've got a sort of a pattern already built within me that I'm basically just trying to build. Okay. But I still have to get that discipline back and stick with it. Okay. So, it's not a case of I can just go, okay, undo that, flick overnight, and I'm there. I've had to make the conscious effort every single day this week. Okay. So, each day I'm actually kind of buzzing because it's been such a good week. But again, it's had its challenges, all right? Because it's not easy trying to do a new routine, a new pattern, or new something. Okay. Now let me just check. I'm just checking I'm streaming through because sometimes it just doesn't always ping through. And yeah, we're all good. So guys, if you are joining, obviously I'd love to hear from you. Obviously, if this resonates in any way, but like I said, I was feeling all this illness, got sort of feeling better. And then, of course, I obviously made my new plan. Now, what I planned to do this week was one, I wanted to get back to my 6 a.m. get-ups, okay? Because 6:30. So what I was finding when I was feeling unwell was, although I was sleeping, I was sort of getting up about 7:30, feeling a bit sluggish. So by the time I'm starting my day, you can feel the pattern rolling on. When I used to get up at 6:30, so normally up at 6, I'm sat having a cup of tea. So I have green or white tea in the morning. I'll sit and have that for half an hour, get myself sorted. It'd be like 7:30, and I'll be working and I'll be doing things with my day. Whereas getting up at 7:30, it was really, I was feeling like I was chasing myself until mid-morning, right? So one of my goals was to get up this early. And of course, I was like, okay, I need to prioritize me because I've got a little bit of distraction with my business. Okay. Not gonna lie. Everyone gets distracted at some point. We all get confused by something, whether we're in a career, we've got a business, we've got something else. And if you're like me and you're like a sole trader and a business entrepreneur, then of course you can get hooked up with loads of different things and realize that you become misaligned. Now, having spent several weeks where I was feeling tired and unfocused, there were things that got pushed to the wayside. There were things that got done, and I still got a lot done, but then I've got all this done, and then I'm like going, okay, now I have to move forwards. Okay, where do I want to go? So rather than me just jumping in like a bull in a china shop, just jumped around, right? Imagine that. I decided, I was like, okay, let's take some focus and reset. That's where my meditations come in. Okay. So I'm going to go into each thing that I've done. But the other thing that I wanted to do was, because I have been ill and I have had a while of not being 100%, I wanted to give my body a bit of a cleanse or boost or something. Now, I don't need to lose weight. I'll tell you, I'm 66 kilograms. Don't ask me what that is in pounds, but my body fat normally when we check is about 19%. Not huge. Yes, I do have a bit of water weight, but generally speaking, I've got muscle and things like this. Okay, I wear size UK 8 to 10. All right, so I'm slim and small. I do not need to lose like weight as such. Okay, so let's not confuse what I've been doing this week with dramatic weight loss. Yes, if you want to lose weight, you can add it to a weight loss routine, but you can also do it to cleanse the mind and body. Okay, and that's what I've been doing. All right, so what have I been doing this week? What's got me so buzzing? Okay, well, first off is obviously my alarms. I have been setting my alarm for about 6 a.m. and pretty much even I've actually had a couple of mornings where I've done a 7:30 workout. Okay, 7:30. Monday was 7 a.m. Tuesday was 7:30. So I actually had a workout in the morning, which I have not done for months. I'm not even going to lie. Not that I haven't worked out, but I haven't worked out that early because guess what? I was getting up at 7:30. So how the hell was I going to be in the gym? All right, it wasn't happening. Okay, so this is one of the things I've missed out on. So I've actually done a couple of morning workouts. So not only have I done the morning workouts, I've actually worked out more times this week because I got up a little bit earlier. Okay, but you can probably tell my energy's on a high. Okay, now when we're talking about habits and things like this, like I said, I wasn't on healthy habits, but there were things I need to do better. Because when I did things better, I feel better. I feel more energy like I am now. And I also sleep better and things like this. So obviously set my alarm, get these workouts. That was great. That was a bonus. I was making use of the time, including Tuesday. I woke up and went, I've got this time. What should I do with it? And I was actually wondering what, and I went, I'm going to the gym. Why not? I have the time. I can go to the gym. I can still be back and I can still be at my computer by 9 o'clock. That's a normal working day. And then because I know I'm working till 8 o'clock in the evening on Tuesday, I went, that's absolutely fine. Break the afternoon, all this. Perfect. So I just was dynamic with my day, gave myself the flexibility around where my clients were and allow myself that time to sort of go, okay, I've got this time here. How can I use it so I can maximize it? Okay, that's the thing. Because the other thing is, remember guys, I live in London. So if I go to the gym and I jump in my car, okay, the last thing I want to do is jump in my car at 8:45 in the morning, all right? Because I'm going to sit in traffic. Not only is that less eco-friendly in terms of the environment, I'm going to burn more petrol, it's going to take longer, and of course it's stressful. So again, my mental health is not going to gain much for this. And if I don't have to do that, then I'm not going to do that. That simple. So of course, that's what I did on Wednesday. I was up earlier. So rather than leaving at rush hour, I left a bit earlier and I went to the gym. Duh. Not only was my journey like 20, 30 minutes less, which was amazing, but I also got in that workout. I actually bumped into someone I hadn't seen for a couple of months, for a while, because they've been injured and things like this. But I bumped into someone, had a chat, bit of a catch up. It was a plus, a huge plus. So other than making my morning routine, so here's the tip for you. So if this is one of your goals, you want to add the morning routine, you want to get up that bit earlier. Say you are a 7 o'clock get-upper, okay? If you are someone who's going to struggle with the changing the patterns, remember I'm building on old patterns. I used to get up naturally at 5:30, 6. So remember, I'm building old patterns. I'm just pulling them back. So it's a little easier for me. But if you're someone who's starting out, say you've got 7 or 8 or whatever it is, start the next time being 15 minutes earlier. So say it's today, going, okay, what I'm going to do is start Monday. I'm going to do 10 or 15 minutes earlier, right? So you might set the first alarm for 1:45 and the next one for like 4 minutes to, or 4 minutes later or something, okay, to make sure you do get up by that 10:02 point, right? And that will help you. Initially, it'll feel, okay, there may be a bit of a struggle. You'll have some days that are easier, but as it's getting brighter, particularly for us in the Northern Hemisphere, then of course, this is going to be a little easier and help us, okay? So then you just, again, after a week, getting that easier, again, you just move it back slightly. And then, of course, you move it back, all right? So that's a little tip. The other thing I've been doing, which I've been doing in the morning and in the evening. So first thing in the morning, like literally before I've even got out of bed, I literally just sit up and I do my meditation. Okay. So I know some people, we've raved about meditation and how good it makes you feel and the health benefits, the calming the mind, the clearing the mind. But I've been doing it like I say, about 10 minutes in the morning. And I'll say about 10 to 20 minutes in the evening, but occasionally been pinging in for like that 10, 50 minutes in the middle. So this has been my key focus. Okay. The one thing that I'm learning a bit more about again. I'm learning a slightly different style, and I'm putting more effort to go deeper with my practice. So bear in mind, again, I have been teaching yoga for a couple of years. I've been meditating on and off for a while. I went, actually, this practice, I know the benefits. And it's also, remember the saying, Rashad is the one who reminded me of this. So when you feel good, you meditate. When you feel like you haven't got enough time, you meditate for longer. So Rashad, do correct me if I got those words wrong. But by making those little efforts, I've obviously boosted my day. So this is one of the key things, because when I did it on Monday night, which is night one, I slept so well. I'm sorry. I really did. Although I've been sleeping, I've having a great night's sleep, actually meditating in that latter part of the night. So it was about 8:30, 9 o'clock when I did it on Monday. So it was a little earlier than right before bed. But it was the best night's sleep I'd had in weeks. And I'm not joking. I slept like heavy. I could feel a good REM sleep. And then, of course, obviously waking up, when I woke up, I was like, I'm actually waking up. Right. So I wasn't like that sluggish, drowsy, dragging myself out of bed. I actually woke up and I was like, yeah, I want to sort of get up. Hence the 7:30 in the gym after already having my cup of tea and everything in the morning. Right. So again, fabulous word there, conditioning. But that in some ways is how we build habits. So where's my cursor's not even working. Oh, there you go. It's gone to. So conditioning just pinged up on LinkedIn. But again, that is it. That's how we build habits. It's the discipline to keep going, because then we get more used to it. It is so difficult at times to build those habits. It takes the conscious discipline. Okay. So like this morning when I woke up, first thing I woke up was like, oh, I don't have anything till 9:45. I could have a little lie-in. And then I just went, no, come on. There's no excuse. The thing is, I've got no excuse, because I made this promise to myself. I made this promise that I want my routine back. I want all this energy. I want the results, and I want the direction exactly like I had it before. Whereas feeling a little lost isn't going to help me, but actually maintaining a standard where I've got my discipline in place and sticking to it. So this week was those earlier get-ups, right? I've been getting up every day. It was that meditation practice. Morning for the first, literally, I'm sitting up in bed and I'm literally grabbing my phone, putting back, playing something. Okay, so I've got them already preset and just sitting there and just breathing. Okay, and for those who want a really good tip with this one, okay, firstly, guided meditation will help you obviously go to sleep. It switches off the conscious mind, but of course it can help in the morning, boost your day, and also set up the intentions. But the other thing is, because I even noticed that I struggled one day because I fell asleep, okay, and this wasn't the first time, because I was a little too comfortable, right? So here's my lesson from you for meditations, okay, and here's the tip to take away. Get a little uncomfortable, okay? So if you're like me, meditating in the morning bed and sitting up and all this, don't pad yourself up with all the pillows, because as lovely and comfortable as that feels, that is also a way to fall back to sleep. Because if you start meditating and switching down the brain, you can kind of drift off if you're still in that sort of morning state. Okay. So find a little uncomfortable, be a bit uncomfortable. Okay. But the last thing is what I've actually shared in the topic, and that was about intermittent fasting. Okay. So intermittent fasting is obviously widely known, okay, for its weight loss benefits and things like this. Okay, so how would you do it? Okay, and I'll tell you how I've been doing it, right? So intermittent fasting, you can do like a 12-12. So you could eat between 12 and 12, or you could eat and not eat the other 12 hours, right? Or you could do whatever, break down the 24 hours, 16-8 and things like this, okay? So I'm break my fast at 12 noon. And I can eat up until 11 o'clock at night. Okay, so I have like an 11-hour window, right? Which is pretty fair for me. Outside those windows, you're not supposed to drink anything but water. And of course, obviously, all your calories consumed in that time. Some people, and it is known not to have anything outside that window at all. Okay, but generally speaking, most people have water. Now, I've been allowing myself my green or white tea in the morning, and of course my one black coffee, because I only have black coffee, which is limited calories, no milk or anything like this. And I was like, because I'm not trying to lose weight, I'm just trying to cleanse my body. Okay, and some mornings I just went, I'm just not doing without my coffee. It's fine. So I made that conscious choice. Okay. So remember, if it's for weight loss, you may adjust it differently. Okay. But the thing with intermittent fasting, this is when a lot of people get it wonky. And that is when you do intermittent fasting, you still eat your daily calories, but within a smaller window. So rather than having from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. or whatever it is, you eat it within a smaller window. Okay. So you still need the nutritional value. Okay, so for someone like me who was basically eating within half an hour getting up, eating an hour and a half later, eating 2 hours after this, so by 12 o'clock, I normally had eaten like 3 times. Switching it up this week to going, I'm not eating until 12 o'clock. Yeah, it's been interesting. Okay, so I mean, even this morning was 11 o'clock, and at 11 o'clock, I was like, oh, I can go and have this. And I was like, no, you can't. No, I just can't. And then, of course, the other day, my tummy was grumbling at 8 a.m. And I was like, no, it's okay. And of course, a lot of this comes from the mental restraint. Okay, I wasn't dizzy. I wasn't fainting. I wasn't feeling well. It's just a case of my body was not used to not having food put into it. Okay. So again, I'm maintaining a healthy body. Now, the other thing to notice is when I switched on to intermittent fasting, I found it pretty easy to switch over. And the reason for that is I have been doing bits of it before, because every weekend, so on a Saturday night, I eat, I normally eat my dinners like 9 o'clock at night. Okay. And that's because I have clients and things like that in the evening. So I do eat a late dinner. Okay. And that's pretty normal for me. But I'll eat on a Saturday, say 8:30, 9, right? But then I train on a Sunday morning. So normally by 8:30, I'm in the gym. I haven't eaten by that point. 9 times out of 10, I've only had water. So I will get up and I will train a heavy leg session every Sunday. Okay. Even without food. And that's because I fueled my body enough the night before. Okay. So if you're suddenly worried about not eating enough, if you are well averse on your meals and well planning, okay, so you've got the right nutrition going in at the right times of your day, then your body will have it ready for you to use when you need it. Okay. Just like when I first ate this morning, I had at 12 o'clock, literally was some fresh vegetable soup, which was cabbage, leek, carrots, broccoli, and spinach. Okay. So homemade soup with some spices and flavors, bit chili and whatever. And I have some olive bread, which I got from the bakery yesterday. Okay. So this was what I ate with. So I had some carbohydrates, I got loads of vegetables, and of course, literally, it's a case of I'm kind of hungry now. So my next meal is going to be higher protein, okay? Because that was obviously lesser proteins, which is absolutely fine, but obviously loads of goodness with the vegetables and things like this. My body literally was eating up, okay? And already I'm kind of hungry. So if I'm starting to drool on things, because I am starting to get hungry. All right. But this is now because this is like my second meal. Okay. Not only will I eat now, but I'll eat then at least another 2 meals later. And I'll have snacks as well. That's the important thing to notice. I will also have snacks. Okay. Because I will make sure my body has got enough fuel. Because bear in mind, tomorrow morning I'm going training in the gym. I'm also got a bit of work on, and then I'll be eating afterwards. Okay. So I've got quite a bit that my body needs to get through. So I need to make sure I've got enough today to tap into. Okay. But as you can tell, I'm sort of quite energetic. Okay. So has it been eating? No, I've been hungry. I'm not even going to lie. I've been hungry at times. It's been weird thinking, okay, I don't have to go in and make whatever for breakfast. So I've had to change my patterns slightly as well, which is kind of unusual. So that's why I still allowed myself the tea, because I wasn't looking at it for weight loss. I was looking at it for sort of like cleansing the mind, cleansing the body, and just taking the chance to reset. Okay. So that's why I chose not to refuse myself that green or white tea or black coffee in the morning. So I only had one of each at most. That's literally it. That's all I ever have every day. Okay. Now, if anyone knows anything about green tea on an empty stomach can make you feel nauseous. Okay. So again, there's another challenge I've had to deal with this week, because that was the kind of reminder to say, You might want to stick to your white teas first thing. But I have to say though, even like today, it feels better, if that makes sense. My body is getting a bit more used to it. So what have I found this week? So I've got up earlier, I've meditated first thing and last thing in the day, I've done intermittent fasting. So these are sort of things that I would advise or guide clients through. And of course, maybe they work for you. If they do, if they resonate with you at all, obviously do drop in, let us know, because there are other people who are thinking about this or trying to make these changes. So the one thing I always commit to is basically making that promise. Okay, the only person who can really make a promise and make the change is you. Okay, so I made the promise to myself, going, I want to go back to this. But then I did the one thing that really inspired me is I remember how good it feels when I was getting up and I was full of energy and I was running around and doing all this and I had all this extra time in my day and all these extra workouts, and I connected to the feeling and how good the results feel. Okay, because even when I've doubted and gone, oh, I want to stay in bed or whatever it is, then I've just gone, actually no, it's absolutely worth it, because you get this feedback back. Okay, your body gives back to you. And of course, I might not do intermittent fasting long term. I might choose to do it for a week or two. And then I'm going to do it this week. I'm going to do it for at least another week. So I'm going to do it for at least 2 weeks. But I'm choosing just to give my body the reset, okay? I may choose to come back to it in a month, okay? But that's my choice. I'm going to base it up how my body is feeling and how my energy is and how awake and alert I'm feeling. So if this is you and you're looking at how it's going to work with you, look at what you do now. Okay, look at where you have time or what it is that you want to change. Okay, because when we say we haven't got time, we've always got time. It's just how we invest the time in our day that we choose. I picked on 2 times to meditate, morning and evening. Well, what am I doing? I'm crawling into bed. Likelihood is I might be checking something on my phone or whatever. None of that. All right, no book, no notebook, no nothing. The other thing, actually, when I say notebook, I actually put a notebook by my bed. I have had more vivid dreams about things that I would like to happen. So, of course, I've woken up in a good mood. And, of course, all sorts of things. And I've written them down. Okay. Now, if you're like I would rarely remember my dreams. Okay. So I very rarely remember them. But most days this week, I've woken up and gone, oh, I dreamt about this. Last night, I was dreaming I was randomly doing straddle handstands. Like I said, they don't tend to make sense, guys. Okay. I want to get back into my handstand practice. Doing that was the reason we think I broke my big toe in December, because I was doing handstand pikes with a fitball. But that is something I want to get back to. So that might be what my dream is, because I want to do these straddle handstands where I put my hands down and just lift my legs up. I can do that in a headstand, but I can't do it in a handstand yet. But these are the things that you sort of dream. So some of these things are relating to past bad experiences, and some things will relay onto things that you want to achieve, your goals, maybe even visions of the future. Okay. And the nice thing is I'm writing them down. Like the other night, I had a dream that was split. It started off being like remembering past people, and then it flicked to something completely different. Okay. So it sort of, the story just progressed. And of course, I remember the first bit got me a little agitated, but the second was actually kind of enjoyable, fun, made me happy. But because I had this notebook and pen, when I woke up, I wrote it down. And then when I was a bit more coherent, I could then reflect on it and go, actually, this was really good. This is this. But it also shows to me that my mind is in a different state than what it was, say, a week ago. And that's simply because I have just been changing my eating patterns, putting a meditation practice in, minimum of twice a day, usually about 4 times, actually, to be honest, because I've been trying and practicing different things. And of course, I've been that committed to those mornings and starting up for the morning. Okay. Oh, thank you. Give yourself a high five. So the reason obviously I'm sharing this is because, like I said, this is Real Talk. Okay. Saturdays, we're on Real Talk. I'm here to share you some advice and tips, things that have gone on in my week, because, like I said, wellness is a journey. It isn't an end state. At any point in your life, you can come up being sick, challenge or something, and you have to take the reset. It's not about what you did yesterday. It's not about last week. It's not what you did 5 years ago. It's not even what you do in like 5 minutes. Okay. It's about this moment. Okay. You can make conscious, healthy choices that will have a big transfer and transform of your life. So guys, if this has been useful, I'm going to cut it off there because you guys have got a fantastic Easter plan. I know it's going to be an amazing weekend because we're all here with good spirits and good energy. And of course, in the meantime, woo, my cousin's not even working again. Have a fantastic weekend. And of course, do enjoy the rest of yours.